Hey guys, it's Dmitry here, and today we continue developing our application, and again it's going to be like related to topic of React Router, and we also going to work with CSS. And as you remember guys, we decided to stick with this Tailwind CSS library or package, right? So, and yeah, we're going to spend some time on CSS. I guess, to be honest with you, up to 60-70% of the tutorial going to be spent on CSS. So anyway guys, let's jump into that and continue developing or improving our app. So guys, before start coding, I would like to show you one thing. Guys, for example, if you click inspect, so straight away you can see here, right? You can see all the elements, you can see div and so on, right? So guys, you can see here ID root, right? Essentially it's the actual document. This is the our document, right? The original one. So guys, and this one, this div, this is the actual div, right? And then everything that inside, it's our new components, right? Header component and then dashboard component. So you can see header, dashboard, right? Which is represented by these strings, right? That we placed before. Hope guys it makes sense. So, and obviously now we have all these components, but we have to style all of them, right? We also have to, to define the height, the width, and so on, right? In order to play them on the screen. Anyway, let's jump into that, guys. Okay, next thing what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to define. I will start working with CSS, right? And as you remember guys, with CSS, in the case of React, we're not using this keyword class anymore, right? Like in standard CSS, we using word class name. This is the actual word, right? Keyword. So, and here we define actual CSS, right? But because we're working with this package or library, we go into define all the attributes from the library, right? And in order to do that, guys, the easiest way, just use this bar or this field in order to search for stuff or search for what you really need, right? Guys, first thing I need, I know that these elements, header and dashboard, they're going to sit under each other. So, and guys, if you're not familiar with things like Flexbox and so on, I definitely would recommend you to go and read or learn basic stuff about CSS, right? About Flexbox and how to style stuff, because this tutorial I'm not going to spend a lot of time on explaining you the basic stuff about CSS, because otherwise it would take me ages to finalize this tutorial. I'm going to style it, and we're just going to go with the flow. And guys, if you have any doubts or if you're not sure what's going on, just stop the video and just Google search and try to understand why I done that, right? Cool guys, let's move on. First thing, I would like to use Flexbox in order to style these components, right? So I need to structure this component. Imagine all this div, right? All this div. Inside of this div, we have these two at the moment, right? We have these two components, and each of these components it represents its own div, right? And I just would like to structure them under each other, and just would like to spread them through the screen, and flex box allowed me to do that. Okay, let's do that, guys. I'm going to type flex here, and straight away we can see flex. And what I'm going to do, I need to use flex column. The direction is going to be column. So flex col, I guess. Cool, guys. So that's the actual attribute, right? The first thing we're going to define here, it's flex. Then I'm going to define flex col. So at the moment nothing here, right? You cannot see anything here. But then, guys, I also need to define the height. The height of these elements, right? So in order to do that, guys, I need to use, already know that one of the attributes is called min dash age dash screen. So, and essentially this, you can see mean height is 100 ph, right? So obviously this mean age screen, it's going to define the full screen, right? So it means that this div, the height of this div is going to be obviously the full screen. And let's define, guys, and then I will show you. Min dash age dash screen. So that's how you doing that, right? So guys, and now see, if you select this div, you can see straight away that it's selecting the whole screen, right? And even if you, I believe if you apply like background, define some colors, like, oh, for example, I can do it over here, right? Background. Let's go with the black, for instance, black, right? So you can see straight away, guys, it's the full screen, right? That's how it is, guys. So you can see that this mean the age screen, it already works, right? This attribute, it's working. Okay, let's refresh it because we don't need this black screen. Cool. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I would like to style first dashboard. Let's go to dashboard, and here I'm going to define also flex. Okay, first thing first. First I'm going to import here sidebar. And why do I need it, right? I'm planning to do this is going to be my structure. Here we're going to have header in each page. Remember, guys, the goal is to navigate between different routes, and it doesn't matter which route I'm going to hit or going to go to. The structure of the page should be the same. That's my plan, right? On the left hand side, it's going to be a sidebar over here, sidebar with all the links. And when I'm going to click on links, right, I'm going to navigate to different pages. On the top, it's going to be a header, and maybe later on I'm going to utilize it somehow, but at the moment I think from aesthetical perspective it's nice to have header. And then I'm going to have a like kind of main body here, or dash, yeah, anyway. And the most important thing, I guess, at the moment, understand that the dashboard, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring another component, which is sidebar, right? So, and essentially, before importing that, I need to create a sidebar, guys. Yeah, that's the right way to go. Let's do it, guys. In a common, I'm going to just define here, right? Because it's, you know, the header and sidebar is going to be presented in each and every page, right? So that's why we can define them as a common components. That's why I created this directory, which I called common. Okay, now new file, and I will call sidebar sidebar.jsx, of course, and I'm going just copy and paste, I guess, stuff in order to speed up the process, and I will going to call it sidebar, and here sidebar 2, and then sidebar for now. So, and guys, also what I'm going to do now, I'm going to import this sidebar to dashboard component. Import sidebar, or bring it right to this component from common sidebar, right? Here we go, guys. So, and here I'm going to define sidebar, I'm bringing sidebar component, but because we need to wrap up both these components in a parent div, so I have to define extra div, right? Cool. So now we have this sidebar, but at the moment it's still a mess, right? You still cannot figure out what's going on here because we need to style it. So now we have to style all this stuff, guys. And first thing first, guys, first I will start from styling. You know, usually when you start styling from top to bottom, right? For example, the here component, which is parent component, which is div, parent div, I will start from styling parent div, guys. First I need to define class name, right? Then flex grow 1 background color white. Here we go. So guys, I'm using flex now, right? And you can treat this two pieces as two divs, right? This one is a div component and this one is div 2, right? So there are two divs inside of flex. Cool. So now I'm going to style the sidebar. Okay, let's style before the actual sidebar. Before the actual sidebar, let's style dashboard. Class name. Let's define color. Background gray / 400. Also flex. Grow 1 for now. Cool, guys. Don't really pay attention at the moment, it's still a mess, right? So this is, I'm defining the actual background color, right, for this component for dashboard, and here I'm defining flex grow, which is related to this flex, right, to flex box, guys. So, and now what I'm also going to do, guys, I'm going to say, and it's a this tailwind CSS library trick, right? You can use so-called, and I will show you guys. Let's first do that, and I will show you then what's going on. B-3-/4, And then I guess inside of here I'm going to say class name flex grow -1 and then w-1 magic. So, and one more thing is I'm going to style header, because at the moment it's a mess. And in case of header, I'm just going to say, I guess I just need to style this div, right? Also I have to define class name. Then I'm going to define a background color. I will stick with gray here, because why not? By the way, this number is kind of intensity, right? I believe the bigger the number is, the more it's intense. And then I'm also going to define -20, which is stands for height. And you know, they have a scale. For instance, if I go here, let's see. Yeah, this is the scale, right? So I define 20, it means it's 5 rem, right? As you remember, 1 rem, I guess it's around 10, 1 rem it's around 10 pixels, something like that. So cool. Now I define all this stuff for header. So, and you can see now header, the head of header is correct, right? But I still cannot see the... Ah, okay, fair enough. I misspelled, right? Now it should work, guys. Here we go. So now header is gray, right? By the way, we don't need this string anymore. Cool, guys. So also I think I'll go back to sidebar and I'm going to kill this string, and the same in dashboard. Cool. So guys, this is our structure, right? Or structure of our basic structure of our page, right? Again, it's a header, this is going to be sidebar, and this is the kind of main part, right? And at the moment, this part, it's a dashboard, right? That's how I call it, because again, we're hitting this route at the moment, right? But if you're going to hit different, at the moment nothing there, right? But if you're going to hit different one, you already can see that header is already presented, right? Because header, it doesn't matter which route we're going to hit or we're going to navigate to, everywhere we're going to have header. And that's why, guys, it's really important to understand, that's why we always have header, right? We just render it once and that's it, right? And in case of routes, you can see, guys, if you hit in this route, then you're going to render this component, right? Dashboard, and so on and so forth, guys. But this one, it's common component for all the pages, right? For all the routes. Hope, guys, it makes sense. Okay, let's navigate back. So guys, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to define these extra things, these links, and going to work on this sidebar. So guys, sidebar. In case of sidebar, I think I'm going to stick with the basic stuff. I'm going to define like a table, sorry, like a list, right? Which is, as you remember from the basic CSS, we have UL, right? Tags, closing tag, and inside we have LI, right? Tags. So LI tag, right? Okay, let's start from first one. And first I'm going to define the class name here. class name here, and I'm going to say margin left 5, right? 5 RAM. So in, as far as I remember, in tailwind, if you say ML5 for instance, let's see ML5. Yeah, here we go. So it stands for margin left 1.25 RAM, right? Cool. It's enough for me, I guess, for now. And when we going to show the actual text, we will check it out. So guys, also what I need to import actual link. And link, guys, it's part of React Router DOM, right? Do you remember this library I was talking about before? So that's how it is. Link from come on, React, it's still not here, right? React Router DOM. Cool. So search. Okay, it's arguing about that, of course, because we're not using it at the moment. Now we're going to use it, right? We're going to start using it. So, and let's just place it inside li, right? Tags link, and inside of link, we're going to say something, right? Let's first close it, and I guess first I'm going to say front end frameworks. Cool. So, and one of the attributes of link, it's to, and to basically where you're planning to navigate, right? And I'm going to say front end resource. Cool. That's going to be our second route, right? As you remember, the first one is just /, and this one is the second one, right? So if you're going to click this link, we're going to be navigated to this route, and you can see here straight away it's front frameworks, right? Front end frameworks. Pretty cool stuff, guys. So what else? Okay, I'm going to copy and paste it here. And here I'm going to define another route. I'm going to say backend and backend frameworks. Here we go. And the last one, I'm going to say infrastructure resource. Infrastructure resource. Cool. Looks like a winner. And obviously, guys, now we cannot navigate yet. By the way, let's see if we can. Yeah, I think we cannot, because we still have to define in this index these routes, right? Obviously. So And also guys, of course, we have to create these components anyway, right? Okay, let's just copy and paste dashboard, because at the moment they just going to be copies of this component. And I'm going to call first one, I'm going to call front end, front dash resource, and inside it's going to be I'm going to call it front end resource, I guess, which just makes sense. Front and okay, it's already there, right? Front end resource, and then copy and paste here. Cool. And let's define different color, right, for the sake of differentiate, like for the purpose of differentiating, right, that we navigate in between different pages. I'm going to say flex background, and background here should be, okay, let's define yellow, and intensity for 100, for instance. So then flex grain, it should be fine because it's the same. By the way guys, do you remember I told you I'm going to say what's going on here? This is the actual ratio, right? The sidebar here is 3/4, right? So the whole width of this page, it's you can represent it as a number 4, right? And the 3/4 of this page is going to take this div, right? Which is this one in this case. And the rest is going to take sidebar, right? Because if you go to sidebar, you can see that it's 1/4, right? So obviously this is 1/4 and this is the 3/4, right? And the whole thing, it's represent like 4, right? So guys, it's kind of obvious, right? And yeah, if you go here, let's check W dash, for instance, 1, right? You can see straight away here, right? 1/4, 3/4, everything, right? It's explaining you. It's like W 3/4, it's 75%, which just makes sense, right? And so on, right? And basically 25% of this page width is going to be this sidebar, and the rest of 75% is going to be this another div, right? Cool guys. So now let's move back to our front resource, front end resource. I think if you navigate now to front end, it's still not showing, of course, because we have to define here, right? And let's define here, guys. First we need to import that front end resource from front resource. Here we go. Hopefully, yeah, it's already, you can see it, right? So now guys, let's just place it here, and here guys, let's just copy and paste it from sidebar, the actual path, right, or route. So, and we're going to put it here. So now guys, what will happen, right? You remember the React route is smart enough. It understands when we go into, or we will try to navigate here to this path, then it's going to render this component, which is our front end resource component, right? Pretty cool, guys. So let's try to do that. Yeah, you can see it, guys, right? So again, this is our this is our / route, right? So now if we're going to navigate to this route, front-end-resource route, you can see straight away style was changed, so it means we navigated right to this route. And then you also can see that the actual URL link was changed right to front-end resource. Cool guys, let's move on, because otherwise this tutorial is going to be super long. So guys, next thing I would like to do, I'm going to define extra. Okay, let's just copy and paste front-end resource, and it's going to be another component. I will call it basically, I guess, back. I'm thinking how to call it. Yeah, back resource, I guess. Let's just call it back resource. And then backend, I guess, which just makes sense. Backend resource. Sweet. So now here I'm just going to copy and paste it and going to import right this way. And here I'm going to define back. I just need to change back here. Cool. So, and here I need to define extra route, backend route, right? Backend resource. Cool. So, and here, yeah, now we need to define the new component that we're going to render. So now guys, we have the second route, right? Backend resource route. So now if we try to navigate here, okay, looks like it's not really working, right? Front-end resource, back, because it's spelling mistake here, right? Backend resource. Okay, I think we need different style, right, in order to see, but you already can see it, right? So the route or the URL is changing, right? Front end, back end, right? So the only thing is we have to differentiate. In order to differentiate, we just need to define new style, and I'm going to define new style here. I'm going to say, yeah, it's a question. Oh, what's better to say? Let's define, I guess, blue here, and let's define gray here. Oh, sorry, red here. Sweet. So now guys, you can see straight away we're navigating. So we're not defining this route yet, right? Or this path, it's not there yet, but we already can navigate between these two paths or routes, and then we also can navigate to / route, right? Pretty cool stuff, guys. It's already quite satisfying, right? So guys, next step, I think I just need extra component. I need to create extra component, and I will call it, again, it's going to be just copy pasting for now, and later on I'm going to, you know, improve all of these components. I call it infrastructure, sweet. And here I'm going to say infrastructure. Hold on. It's a question of how it's called. What the best way? Yeah, let's just call it infrastructure. Should be fine. Infrastructure. I guess, guys, you know, in case of naming infrastructure, it's up to you, of course, but it still should be kind of self-explanatory, right? What you're trying to achieve, like the name in itself, because later on it would save a lot of time if you just, you know, at the beginning name things logically, And when I say logically, it means even sometimes the names can be really long, but if they make sense, then just use them. Some people believe like long name, it's better not using long names, but I'm not a big proponent of that logic. I think if it makes sense, then if it potentially would help you in the future to understand stuff quickly, then go with a long name too. It's nothing wrong with that. Even in our company, sometimes we have to use long names, so it's not a big deal, guys. But of course, so many people, so many minds. There is no right or wrong answer on this question. Cool, so I define another styling. Now I need to do the same. I'm going to import this new component, infrastructure, right? Infrastructure and infrastructure. VS Code really helpful. So now I'm going to define a new route here, right? And I already forgot what the name of the actual route, right? Let's go back to our sidebar and just copy and paste name of the route, infrastructure. Yeah, looks okay to me. So guys, and now we need to define infrastructure here as a component, and from the logical perspective or from functional perspective, everything should work. Cool. So guys, you can see already, right? You can navigate between all of these pages or between all of these routes. Pretty cool stuff, guys. So what I'm going to do now, and it's like extra small part, I'm going to style these links, and pretty much we're done for now. And yeah, cool. Let's go back to sidebar, and what I'm going to do first, I'm going to say text. I'm going to style text gray -700. Again, guys, all these attributes, you just can search for them in Tailwind. You can come up with your own styles. It's not a rocket science, guys. But the most important thing, as long as you understand how the functionality works, the rest, like all the styling, it's completely up to you guys. Maybe you don't even like the way I'm trying to style stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm not saying I'm really good at designing, right? Because designers, it's just another branch, right? It's another type of people. I mean, I'm trying to spend some time on designing, but I know I still have to learn a lot in case of designing. So that's why I stick with this Tailwind CSS library. Cool, guys. So this is the text. Text now is gray, right? So flexbox ML5, right? And now I guess I'm going to style each li class name. I'm going to say empty-10, which is it's going to be margin, top margin, which is 10. So, and then I'm just going to copy and paste to the same stuff to every li tag. Cool. Now you can see we separated them, right? They look a bit nice, I guess. Okay, one more thing what I'm going to do, or I guess two more things. I'm also would like to style the actual links, right? Because at the moment, as a link, usually when you hover over link, it should be kind of highlighted, but it's not really highlighted at the moment, right? So let's fix it. It's called create a hover effect. First of all, let's say class, like seriously. Cool, class name, And now, okay, let's first work with text. Text dark. Let's make it dark when we highlighting it. Sorry, when we hovering over that. And then the actual hover effect. Text blue dash 800. So guys, what happened is now text here is dark, right? And the how to say, the intensity, I guess, 500. And when we're going to hover, it's going to be changed to blue color and with intensity 800. I'm not sure if you even can see it, guys. Okay, let's just copy and paste it. It's kind of, I guess you can see it, right? Let's make it, I don't know, red probably. Maybe it can be more noticeable. Here we go, guys, right? Red is more noticeable. But anyway, like about styling, you can play around with that. But guys, pretty much it, right? So that's exactly what I was planning to accomplish in these 2 tutorials, right? Okay, guys, let's sum up. Now, if you go to this index file, right, you can see straight away you define this route, right? And route that has the history, right? And it's actually history where you writing the routes. And history, as far as I remember, the history itself is, first of all, it's carrying all the actual routes, right? The routes that router is going to work with. So that's why history, again, it just, you cannot, like, this router cannot function without the history, without this history. So then we created our div, right? Created header component, and inside, guys, we defining this, using this route, which is part of React Route to DOM, right? Package. And again, React Route to DOM package, as you remember, it's a specific router for web applications, right? So if you would like to create a web application, then you have to stick with this router. You cannot work, you cannot accomplish the same goal, but just using React DOM, right? You have to use React Route to DOM. So guys, and then we say exact, and exact stands for we're going to work exactly with this path. The path should look exactly like /, right? Or otherwise like exactly like this string or this string and so on, right? Or these paths. So, and then when we're hitting one of those, we're going to render corresponding component, right? For example, if you're hitting / path, then it's going to be dashboard and so on and so forth, right? That's the main idea, guys. And finally, it's important to understand that index it's a main component of our, or is going to, like, it's a parent component of all our component, right? Components, like index component, it's carrying all the rest of components of our React application as a children's, right? Sorry, as a children. So basically, again, this is the parent component, and this component they are this component they're children, right? Hope, guys, it makes sense. Okay, guys, in the next tutorial we continue working on that, and I'm just going to improve this application, and I'm going to style a lot of stuff, and I'm going to call different APIs, and I will show you guys how you can use React hooks later on. Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about all the stuff at the moment because it's a lot of stuff to learn, guys, and we're going to go step by step, and we're going to improve our application, guys. Trust me, at the end of it's going to be quite nice app, and literally it can be your first project, right? React project. So why not, guys? Okay, guys, thank you very much, and hopefully, guys, you like this tutorial. Please click this like button if you like this tutorial, and please subscribe, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet. And guys, see you next tutorial, and goodbye, guys.